This program is organized by Arshad Ayub Graduate Studies, AAGB, coordinated by EMBA, UiTM Cawangan Johor, Kampus Pasir Gudang, under the Global Outreach Program. So it is an honor to me to introduce and welcome the honorable guests today. We have our esteemed invited speaker, Professor Yanto Chandra, all the way from City University, Hong Kong. Flew all the way from Hong Kong, coming here. Good morning, sir. Right. We also have with us, we are very lucky to have with us, the most busiest woman in the campus. Dr. Siti Khadijah Elias, our Assistant Rector. Thank you for coming. Thank you for having the time with us. And the one and only, Dr. Tahira Bibi, our EMBA Coordinator. All right. All right, Assalamualaikum, Doctor. And also all of you, the participants of Comics to Go to Campus event. For a brief moment, let us maybe start with the recitation of the Ummul Kitab, Al-Fatiha. Amin. Okay, now I would like to invite Dr. Siti Khadijah Elias to deliver her welcoming speech. Please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good morning to all. Aduh, tak ada semangat ni. Sekali lagi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning. See, they are not very... Oh, nasi lemak already taking the body. Prof, have you tried nasi lemak? Okay, okay. Good morning, Prof. Yanto Chandra from City University, Hong Kong, our speakers for today. And Dr. Tahira Bibi, a very good friend of mine, EMBA coordinator, all the committee members, Puan Mai, okay. We have Puan Muna, Cik Azrul and Cik Sazali, okay. And all of you, my lovely students yang tersayang. Okay, first of all, I would like to congratulate all the committee members, especially Dr. Tahira, for organizing this event. I would see that it's not a good, it's not a short, and it's not an easy thing to do. Okay. Inviting Prof all the way from Hong Kong, okay, and knowing Dr. Tahira, okay, I know that she never done something, okay, half cook, okay, yeah, and she always go all out, okay, for everything that she's done. So please give a big round of applause to her for her commitment. Okay, congratulations, Doctor, and the team. Okay, I feel very honored to be here today and to witness and to be able to meet Prof. Yanto and all of you today for this, I think, a very historical moment for UiTM Campus Pasir Gudang. This is, I think, for this year, this is the first invited speaker from international. Okay, for 2025. So give again, okay, a round of applause to Dr. Tahira and Prof. Yanto for coming. Okay, Prof, welcome to UiTM Campus Pasir Gudang. Prof said just now that he was in Singapore years back. And then he came to Johor to cross the border and they go back. We never have time to explore. But okay, this time around, please feel free to visit Johor. You have to visit also all the beaches. Okay, we have so many beautiful beaches in Kota Tinggi. We have Desaru, we have Mersing. Okay, so I think Dr. Tahira, she will be a great tour guide for you. So sorry. Okay, so enjoy your moment here in Malaysia. And for the students, this is not I think an easy thing for us in UiTM Johor to do lah, kan, to invite someone who as prestigious, as knowledgeable as Prof with here to us. So please take your time, okay, focus today and gain as much as you can the valuable lesson, okay, especially in this. This is definitely his area lah, kan. So okay, take as much as opportunity as you can for this fruitful session, and I do believe that it will be going to be beneficial for us in UiTM Johor. Thank you so much, Prof. Okay, may God always bless you and always ease your way. Okay, and thank you so much for your time. I think that will be about it. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, and please enjoy the session. Thank you.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much, Dr. Siti Khadijah, for the welcoming speech. Okay, before we begin, let's have the photograph session first. One for the memory and more importantly for the reports. Okay, so everybody please gather. As I said before, maybe you can like squeeze in to the center of this hall so that everybody will be in the frame. Right. This one, right? Comment reading first and then discussion. The last part is the fun part. Oh. Yes, and discuss, right. Okay. Okay, sekejap ni dulu. Okay, our esteemed speaker is very excited to share his knowledge with you and his products. But before that, allow me to briefly explain the agenda for today. Okay, we will begin with pre-comic reading questions. This is a pre-survey or questionnaire, and then we are going to move to comic reading session. Next, the post-test on the comic reading session will start, and then we summarize. The best part, as Prof said, we summarize the activities in discussion and sharing session towards the end of the session by our respected speaker. However, it is so odd and unfair if I do not introduce the speaker, right? So, well, the profile is extremely impressive, so I try my best to cut it short. All right. This figure in front of you is Professor Yanto Chandra. He is an associate professor at the City University of Hong Kong, Department of Public and International Affairs, where he co-directs the Technology, Policy and also Law Lab. He is also a core member of the Laboratory for Public Management and Policy. His research focuses on entrepreneurship, that's why the comics, innovation as well, and strategy in creating public value across the public and social sectors. Before rejoining CTU in 2022, he was an associate professor at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University, as well as assistant professors at the University of Leeds in UK and University of Amsterdam in business schools. Prof. Chandra also completed his PhD in entrepreneurship and Master of Commerce in Marketing in the University of New South Wales in Australia. It seems like you are right, you are like a traveler or something. He was trained an accountant in his first degree. You see, if you are in different field now, don't worry. You can still do something else in your future. Before and in between his academic life, he worked as Assistant Vice President of Decision Analytics at HSBC Hong Kong. Also as an analyst at Rudafin Asia in Singapore. Also as a strategic planner at Lo Lintas in Jakarta, and also as an auditor at Ernst & Young Jakarta. He also has held visited positions at the University of Leeds. He has received numerous projects, published his work extensively, and also won and awarded with many prizes and achievement as researcher cum business guru, I think. Right. Without further ado, we have no doubt to call upon Professor Yanto Chandra to begin the session. Please welcome.
Hi everyone, it's nice to be here and thanks for the host, Tahira, and the team, and everyone and all of you who are here this morning, so early in the morning. So I'm grateful that you're all here. So I will not say so much. I just want us to directly go into the main activity. So we'll start with, let me show the slides. Comics. So that's the key part. But what I want to show you, if someone wants to take some photos, they can take some photos. I can come back to that. So we are here today. Yes. So tomorrow I'll be in the. So yesterday I was in UT MEM, University of Technology Malaysia, and today is UITM. It's not working. And tomorrow UTHM. So the first thing that I want you to do is to scan this QR code and access the link, and I will give you 20 minutes to answer the questionnaire and fill in the tasks. So there are some small tasks that it asks you to do. So please do that, and we'll give you 20 minutes to finish the pre-survey. Actually, it's ideal if you do it on the iPad or on the later. I mean, for the comic reading. But for this one, you can use a mobile phone. Yes. But I noted that for the main part later, most people here don't bring your laptop or your iPad. If you have your iPad or laptop, reading the comic later will be best using these bigger devices. But for filling in this, you can just use your smartphone. That's okay. And try to do it by yourself and not discussing with your classmates. So if you have everyone taken the QR? Okay, good. So I'm gonna set the clock. Do we have a way to set the clock for 20 minutes? Is that in the web there? I can. How many of you have finished reading? Most of you. How many of you have not finished? I know some of you at the front here, you came late. You may be needing more time, but don't worry, you can read it later. But anyone else not finished reading? Do you still need a bit more time? Or do you think we are ready to go to the next stage? Anybody not finished yet? Maybe raise your hand quickly. No? Okay, so everyone's finished, so we don't have to wait until this clock finished. So so what we will do now is to let you do a post-test questionnaire. Please scan with your camera, do a post-test, and at the end of this, then it's the fun part. We're gonna have a lively discussion. Scan it, and I'm gonna give you another 15-20 minutes to finish the survey. Please everyone take it, because every of your participation is very, very crucial, very important. Has anyone not yet taken the QR code? Can I close the QR code now?
Everyone already? Yeah,
Okay, good. So okay, you have 20 minutes. Click that we are looking for volunteers, or if you already know the volunteers, to come and sit with me here, and you can ask me questions, and we're gonna look great on the camera and on the video. I tell you, in this is my last stop. My last stop will be in Japan. I'll do something similar like this, and we're gonna make this as a very nice video, and it will go viral in the social media. So, and we need a number of you to sit together with me. You can ask me questions. I'm sure you have a lot of questions after reading this comic, right? So we're gonna make this into interactive and fun. with you asking me questions, but also later we're gonna open the questions to the audience. Anyone who wanna ask, and we can interact. Yeah. So I'm gonna sit in the middle. Let's call for 6 of you to join me in the stage. Please do.
Don't worry, rugi ni. Anyone?
Any volunteer?
Dia tak ada right or wrong.
Before we call the names from the attendants. It's either you come willingly or we are going to force you to come down here. No, it's just a borak-borak sembang about the comic and your experience.
We're gonna have fun.
Don't worry, come. Come forward. Who's the bravier among all? Who can take up the challenge? Come on.
Bawa je buku tu sekali.
Right. Anybody from that side? From the middle?
Sabar diri untuk berada kat depan. Okay, saya bagi nama
Panggil nama. Panggil nama tak? Oh, dah. Yay! Come.
Okay, come.
Yay! Please join her. Please join them. The two of them are coming down. Yes. There you are. Very good.
Sabar diri.
Do we have more? We need 4 more. We need 4 more.
Okay, Irfan
Uh-huh.
dengan Pak Haji.
Irfan and Pak Haji, can you come forward?
Pak Haji seorang je. Okay.
Yes. 2 more kak? 2 more.
Semua. Okay, semua.
1 girl and 1.
Tak panggil nama sebenarnya. Yang mana tertarik pada mata saya je.
Come, have a seat.
Yang
Take a
student
seat.
saya kan semua tunduk tau. Yang student business semua dia tunduk, takut aja. Okay. Alright, nanti 2 more
2 more.
Mana Irfan?
Arina. There's no Irfan? Is there any?
Ada yang nama Irfan?
Ada.
Ya.
Tak mengaku nama.
Okay, abang baju batik merah. Silakan, tepuk. Okay, abang. Yang belakang sekali. Ah, yes, you. Yang tengah tengok saya direct ni. Yes, lovely. Ah, ya, betul. Come.
Siap.
Yang comel muka. 1, 2, 3. Ha, je. Yes, sebelah tudung biru.
Okay.
Yes.
The cream shawl. tu.
The cream shawl. Sebelah tudung biru.
Yes, you.
Okay. Alright. Ada satu, one more guy. Okay, abang baju jaket biru dengan
Yes.
Ya, tak payah tolong belakang.
You lah. Okay, we're settled with the students. Thank you, volunteers. You are awesome. Good job.
Okay, Prof, it's all yours.
I think you need the mic, right? We have one more. This side, maybe you can take one.
Do we have the photographer walking around taking photos and the videos? Okay. Yeah, horizontal and some short, close shots and long shots and move and video. Sometimes sometimes static. Sometimes you move around. I think that will make it better. Maybe we introduce briefly your name and what studying. What major do you studying and what year?
Okay, hello. My name is Maisara Malina binti Mamdo, and I'm studying in business management logistics.
So Sarah, Right.
Yes, you can call me Sarah.
Year one?
Year one,
Year one.
yes.
Good.
Hello, Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Nurdia Alisa. You guys can call me Elisa, and I'm currently studying in business management in transportation.
Okay. Aliza, year one.
Yes,
Year
year
one.
one, sir.
Excellent.
Hello, my name is Nur Shamina Emilia binti Monsukri. I'm from Business Logistics.
Okay. Noor.
Amy.
Amy, year one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sir?
Just mic. Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning to everyone. My name is Muhammad Lufi Al-Hafiz bin Muhammad Junadi. I'm studying in mechanical engineering. So
It's a tough subject. How should I call you? You have a very long name. How should I call you?
you can call me Lutfi.
Luffy. Okay,
Yeah,
Luffy.
yeah.
I can remember that easily.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Irfan bin Marazi. You can call me Irfan.
Irfan.
I am from Faculty Business and Transport.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nuharis Haikal bin Ishaq. Also from Business Transport. Just call me Haris.
Aris. Okay. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, for being so brave. Okay, I'm waiting for questions from any of you. If you have any questions about these comics that you have been reading today, I'm very happy to take your questions. I believe you have a lot of questions. There's no silly questions. There should be some interesting questions that will come from you. Sarah, first, maybe you have questions?
Let me think about it first. Sorry, yeah.
Whenever you're ready, if you're ready, you can just ask me questions. It's better in English because we are on the camera. Yeah, so the audience will understand.
Can I?
Yes,
can I go
Sarah?
first? Okay, so I have a question actually after reading the comic, and I was wondering if Doctor has any personal experience in social entrepreneurship, or have you heard about from maybe your friends or family in this industry? I was wondering that.
Excellent question. As academic, we don't really do the opening a shop as a social enterprise, but we do study through field work for many years in order to turn this into a comic. So at least this comic project came from at least 7-8 years of research on the topic, and then it took us another 4 years to make the comic. Right? It may take you 1 degree, 4 years to spend. We spent 4 years to make the comic project. So it's a long time, and we collaborate with 3 young artists who are near the final year in their studies in arts and design, and they are very good in illustration, in drawing. So we work together with them, but also there's another professor of arts who is giving us the artistic direction. So we have like hundreds of meetings and nearly failure. This was nearly a failed project. Making a comic is very difficult because everything has to be consistent, has to be connected, and we also want to embed a lot of the concepts inside the story. So if you really read the comic, there are a lot of concepts there that we wanted to introduce to the readers. And also in the last part of the book, we also have some summary of those concepts. So hopefully maybe you have pick up those things. So very good question. In terms of did I experience myself? No, it's from the research. And actually many of this research, we go into the very detailed life of these people. I'll give you one example. There's this former drug addict from Singapore, right? And he, because of drug addiction and selling drugs on the street in Singapore, he got caught by the police and spent 10 years of his life in and out of the prison. So when he came out of the prison, he couldn't find jobs. You know, the employer will ask you, where have you been in the past 10 years, right? So he couldn't find jobs. So at the end, somebody helped him to start up a small restaurant. And first restaurant failed because everyone in his kitchen take drugs. Because he hired everyone with the same background as he is, also former addicts. and then later he started a new one and it was very successful. So, but we have looking at hundreds of these kind of cases, and we are working with them. One of them is what we portray through this comic, the Mad Spicy Resto today. Very good question, Sarah. I'm looking for more questions.
May I ask,
Yes?
what influenced you to actually make this comic, especially it specialized on social entrepreneurship?
Because definitely I do research in this area, and actually social entrepreneurship has a lot of implications. Not only that you can empower and help your community, but it also can do other things, something that will make you feel good about what you're doing. You have a purpose, a meaning, right? But also you could also influence the public to think about what they can do to create a better place, a better society, a better community. And it could also use social enterprise to change policy. So in some of our latest work, where, for example, we look at how some of these very successful social enterprises is changing policy, government policy. For example, government have a certain way to deal with homeless problem. So some social enterprises dealing with this issue. And because what they do is very innovative and very effective, it attracts the government's attention to say, look, this is a very interesting way to solve homeless problem. This is a very interesting way to solve disabled people who are typically unemployed and do not receive very good education. But social enterprise help them, train them, educate them, give them new skills, give them new identity, give them new friends, and then it's transforming this disabled person. So if you're helping one disabled person, do you know how many people that you are helping? Just that disabled person? Maybe no. Do you know how much time the parents spend for a disabled child? Some of these, even the parent cannot go to work because they need to look after a disabled child. So when the disabled child is, mature enough and can go out and, let's say, be employed by a social enterprise, they transform the family's life. So there's a lot of things. And you can think of not just disability. You can think of ex-prisoners, ex-criminals who maybe couldn't find jobs. Social enterprise can help them. Environmental issues. You may have waste everywhere. Pollution. A lot of social enterprises are using their creative ways and imagination to solve problems related to environmental issues. For example, they say, plastics or whatever waste. I know in India, one of the cases that we work with, a lot of these plastics were kind of everywhere. So they collect them, they clean them, and she's an artist. So she found a way to transform this unused plastic into sheets of material with a hot press machine. Have you studied engineering? They turn it into a sheet of press with different color, because the plastic are different color, blue, red, green. And then from that, they turn it into handbags and purses, whatever, and they have an online shop. And you know where their biggest market are? In Northern Europe, most of the Europe and North America, because they really appreciate environmental value, environmental issues. So they think if they buy this product, it will help clear up all of these environmental plastic waste, all these things in certain parts of the world. So yeah, so there's a lot of also public out there who are very keen to support social enterprises and any organizations that are creating social value. Yeah, very good question. Any more questions from the others? Irfan? Okay. Oh, you. Go ahead. If you have difficulty, you can also try your Malay, and I'll try my best to reply in English. You can also say in Malaysia.
Okay.
But maybe in the video, we'll find a way to do a dubbing. Voice dubbing.
It's okay, I can speak. Okay.
Suddenly your English can come out.
Okay. Wait. Okay. So while you are doing this comic, okay, this comic is referred to. It's not referred to lah, but the character experience about the failure. So I want to ask you, what is your biggest failure that you experience in your life? So, I wait. I feel like interested to know that how did you become a success person, and I want to know what is your failure before you become succeed.
Wow. This is a tough question. If this go to TikTok, I'll be in trouble. You need to buy me a coffee. I can tell you all the details. But I can tell you, everyone will face failure anyway. At least the girl that I chased to be my girlfriend didn't end up becoming my girlfriend when I was much younger. Or the job that I applied didn't bother to respond to me. Like I applied like hundreds of jobs after I finished my PhD. Think of, you have a PhD and no jobs call you back to come for an interview. So that is very common. So don't worry if you face some failure. The thing is how to be resilient and how you learn from the process. For example, I learned when I apply for jobs, no emails come back to invite me. I realized there's a problem. Initially I didn't think there was a problem, but this is actually off the topic about the comic. But apparently, actually, the way I structure my CV had some problem. And I talked to a very senior person in our profession, also a very senior professor in Canada, who is my mentor, and say, hey, send me your CV, let me have a look. And the person say, look, this is not good, you need to restructure it in this way, in this way, in this way. I restructure it. And not long after that, when I started going out, sending out my CV and application, I did get interviewed. And that led me to my first job in Netherlands. So there are many things that sometimes we don't know, but other people know. So don't get stuck and lock yourself in the room if you are facing some difficulties or failure. There are people out there who can help. So the key is this thing called open innovation. So creative ideas, innovative ideas are always out there. And if we don't have it, find a way to grab it. Yeah. So just a quick one. My failure, I've also laid a lot of failures. So we can talk further later. So this is just one example. Yes, next. Did you ask a question? Yeah, you will have to ask. Maybe next one. Push. Yeah, already. Yeah, already.
Hello. Okay. Sorry, I'm kind of. Okay, the question is, by social entrepreneurship, it sells the product at a lower cost, right? Okay.
It doesn't always have to be low cost, but that is just one of the models.
Okay, let's just say, homeless always be happen, right? Let's just one day they just cannot working, but they still homeless. Does it solve anything?
I'm trying to digest the question.
Hello? Okay. It kind of like this. People age, right? The homeless also age. Let's just say, if one day they cannot afford to buy the food that was sell, so it kind of like cause another problem, I think.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, we all know that maybe homeless person doesn't have an income, right? And they have difficulties, right? So if there is a social enterprise that sells, let's say, food product at a low cost, because these social enterprises know that their aim is to create social value. They don't want to make a lot of profit. They don't want to optimize profit. So they can sell these goods at a lower price. Now, with the lower price, do you think that will help this poor homeless person at least have a decent meal? Definitely yes, right? So you can help even in a small way. Maybe this low-cost meal doesn't solve all these homeless person's problem. He's still homeless, right? The person is still homeless, but at least the food will solve one of these daily problem. So there's a food help that can come, right? So that is just one way. But I can tell you, there are also social enterprises that are dealing with a lack of affordable homes in many parts of the world. I'll give you an example of my favorite case in Hong Kong. You know, Hong Kong's housing is also quite expensive, and for many people, also for the younger generation, they are struggling to have enough money to buy. No, and there's a lot of, let's say, lower income groups who are not capable to find a proper housing. So a social enterprise, this guy come up with an idea that there are a lot of rich people in every cities. So he looked around for some rich people in Hong Kong, and many rich people have more than one homes, more than one apartments. And oftentimes they don't do anything with this apartment because they are rich. Or maybe they rent out that extra apartments that they have. But with or without that income from that second or third apartments that they have, whether they rent or not, it doesn't matter because these people are rich. And so he's trying to convince these who are rich people who have multiple apartments that they don't use, or the income from these apartments doesn't really have a significant effect on their life or not, right? So they work together with the rich people and use their second or third apartments and turn it into a social enterprise. And what they do is they put together at least two single parent families to live together in this house. So they work together with the owner of this apartment, who are typically richer people, and put two families, typically a mother with a young child. So they're targeting these groups because they are the most vulnerable. If they are men, maybe they find a way, but women with a young child, they are very struggling. Think about it, you are 28 years old or you are 32 years old, you have a 5 years old boy or girl, right? So they put these two single parent with kids live together. Previously, these two single parents have to live in what we call a very insecure housing, like unhygienic, and the electric cable is everywhere, so it's risky, dangerous, and they have to pay relatively quite expensive. Now, these two families will live together under this social enterprise housing. They still pay, but the pay is lower than what they paid in the less safe environment, and they also get a lot of extra thing from the social enterprises. The social enterprise send a social worker to help plan the life of these mothers. So they work as a kind of a life planning manager. So the life planning manager, who are social worker, will talk to these two single parents who live together now and ask them, where do you want to be 3 years from now? I say, I want to get this kind of job. Okay, then what kind of training do you need to have? So they plan their life, help them, then go enroll in that course, go and take that course, learn this skill. So hopefully within that 3 or 4 years, this person can transform their life. So this model has started from 1 apartment to 5 apartments to 20 apartments in Hong Kong. And then the Hong Kong government saw there's unused staff quarter for civil servants somewhere out there near the Kowloon side of Hong Kong. And then they turned that is 100 unit of flat. So suddenly the government said, let's work together. Let's transform this for your social enterprise housing. So they're able to have so many people who are struggling to have home, proper home. And then, because of this, they changed the Hong Kong's housing policy. So the Hong Kong is starting a lot of this called temporary housing or social housing. And these were the kind of housing that is similar to this original idea from the social enterprise. So NGO take part, the government take part, but it's not free. People have to pay. I tell you, there's a lot of problem when it's free. There's a lot of problem. We can discuss that further. And people have tested this in economics research, using experiments to see if you give it for free, what is the outcome compared to you ask people to pay a small amount. The outcome is very different. Yeah, that's a quick quick response to a short answer. Sorry, a long answer to a quick short questions. Yes, do we have other questions? Maybe.
Hello, I have a question.
Yes.
Sometimes motivator use to speech front and show the video or slide, but why is the Yanto use a comic to share your point to others?
Oh, very good question. I've been waiting for this question. Good question. Okay, why comic? Traditionally in our job, we publish our work in academic journals, right? These are just a bunch of written words. And the audience for this is very limited. Typically, among professors, they would read this. But for the general public, they find it too hard to read because the writing style, the data, everything is just too hard to understand. So what we do is, and then secondly, so we are looking for an alternative way, right, to get our work out there. Secondly, there is more emphasis in the world, and this is not just in certain countries, but around the world, to see how academics can create social impact. how you can transform your research into something that will benefit the community, the society at large. So we are seeing a comic as an alternative to tell a story about our research so it can benefit a lot of people. So this is not just a comic, but it's aiming to transform people's lives. So we are looking at translating the research output into something that is quite fun. And why I choose comic, there's another question. When I was younger, I read a lot of comics. How many of you also read comics or love comics? Many of you, right? So if you have been reading comics for many years in your life, sometimes that comic thing is on your mind, you know. So I said, why? And then at one point I got a teaching award, and they come with a grant money, and using that grant money, I employ 3 of these young artists in Hong Kong to work together for the comic. So we pay them to work, and then also we give them authorship. So you can see the name of the person appears in your comic, the first one. So even though I'm the originator and the conceptualizer and the funder, but we give them a big space in terms of authorship. So we also, hopefully this will benefit them in their career and things like that. So excellent questions. Your English is so good. You say you can only speak Malay. English is so good. Any more question? Actually, anyone can ask further question if you have anything. Yes, please. Okay. Yeah, I can do it.
What are the challenges that you face to do this comic?
Oh, a lot of challenges. This project nearly failed, I tell you. Because working with artists, people in different fields working together is often not easy. Think of it, you are engineer, and you have to work with social scientists. You have to work with linguists. You are from very different field. Your mindset, your training trains you to do things in a certain way, right? So sometimes collaborating, working together is very, and making movies, making comics is a cross-disciplinary effort. You have to have people from different fields. Like I'm the one from the research, from understanding the concept and the content, and the 3 young artists are the one who are good in drawing, and they also propose the original storyline. And then I have another colleague who is the art director. But the idea is, when you're working across disciplines, oftentimes you don't see things in the same way, or what I want to tell them, they don't get it. So before my 3 young artists work together to produce a comic, I'd have to give them many lectures. What is social enterprise? I have to give them a lot of examples, including the drug addict, which turns into this one. So I give them a lot of examples. So then they said, oh, okay, that's what you mean by social enterprise. So I have to give very vivid, and then the work style can be very different. So artists may be having a very flexible work hours, right? And then they may work until 2 a.m., 3 a.m. We don't do that. Like we sleep at 10 p.m., right? We have a regular life. But for them, like, the idea started to come at 11 p.m. until 3 a.m. Right? So the work hours and the pace is different. And then it could be like, actually one of the comic, the artists disappeared for some time. We couldn't find them, right? So but at the end, the arts professor who is part of the team was able to convince the person to pull her back. So she has a personal problem, but we're able to pull her back to make sure that we could finish this, because halfway through, if we have to change another artist, the whole thing could change again. So we don't want to waste time. So 3 person that we worked with from the beginning, we aim to finish it. So at the end, we did manage to finish. So differences in work style, difference across disciplines, the habits. Those are some of the problems. And also another problem is, which I didn't mention, is finding a publisher to publish this comic. Think of it, if you are writing a book or journal article, there are already well-established publishers who are willing to publish a book or a journal article, right? But a comic is not so much. Like when I approach comic producers in Japan or in America, others, this doesn't fit with their genre. Like if you are Marvel Comics, my comic doesn't fit their genre. Their genre is superhero genre, right? So think of it, if you are a writer, there are different genre. You have horror, you have a comedy, you have romance, you have right? So you need to know the genre. So when we contacted those publishers, they don't see us our comic fitting in with their portfolio of comics. So that's why and then the Japanese anime comic, they have a different style, and ours has not only about the comic, but also we have the educational value that we are trying to embed, like the concepts that you read, right? And then at the end you have a summary. So this is a very special way, and it comes in this format because before we finalized the comic, we had a lot of focus group discussion with the professors and students like you to get feedback, like what should we do with this comic in order to make it beneficial for you. And then we have a lot of comments that say, why don't you offer some summary at certain parts of the comic? So let's say if this comic is 78 pages, there are 4 or 5 stopping points where we give a summary, and only at the end we have another grand summary of all the concepts. So that is through the user sort of feedback that we're getting. So yeah, getting these publishers challenges to get it published is also another big problem. So at the end, we found a publisher in Taiwan to publish the Chinese version, but then it's officially published. You can find the Chinese version. So we have the English version. The original version is in English, and we were still looking, and it was still difficult. So at the end, what we did, we go for Amazon KDP, which is an open source publishing. So we just publish as self-publishing. We publish it ourselves. So this copyright belongs to us. It doesn't belong to publishing house, right? If this belongs to publishing house, they want to make profit, and they may restrict us in terms of how we use it. But because we own it, we are not greedy to make money, right? And our purpose is to create social value for students and communities and teachers, professors. We share a lot of this comic for free, the PDF file, or even the printout, including what you read here. But we also publish them in Amazon KDP, because we thought that if people want to get the original hard copy, which we have over there, so I'll share with you guys. So these are the original hard copies. So if they want to get the hard copies, they can buy from on Amazon, and it's a print on demand. So you click your order, and then it will be shipped to your address. So you can pass it and have a look. So yeah, a lot of challenges. And don't worry, in every stage of our life we have different challenges. So don't get discouraged by challenges. Thank you. Any more questions? I'm happy to take more questions.
My last question.
Yes.
Are you planning to do another series or story regarding this comic?
That's a very good question. So it depends on the feedback, but it seems so far across different countries where we do this world tour on the comic, there's a lot of enthusiastic response from participants like you. So if we could get more funding in the future, definitely we are very happy to consider to extend to the next part of this. And even there is a suggestions from our dear professor here. Why don't you turn it into a movie, a comic movie, like a cartoon, right? It's possible, but we need the manpower, we need the resources to turn it into a cartoon. Actually, I'm doing that at the moment. I have doing a filming this month and next month with 2 or 3 social enterprises. We're going to focus, but it's going to be more like a documentary style. So in the documentary, the purpose is to educate the public, to tell them why is it like this, why social enterprise is like that, what is the purpose, what do they want to do, what is the outcome. So if you don't tell this story, people may not know it. And not everyone will take this course in the university, right? So if you have this kind of documentary film and you can make it available out there in YouTube or whatever, and then a lot of people will be exposed to it and can learn from it. So hopefully we can do that, and hopefully if we can get more funding, we can generate the next sequel of comics. Thank you so much for the suggestions.
Okay,
Yes?
I have a
Sarah?
question. This is just for my own personal knowledge. I was wondering if it's in Hong Kong, is there any well-known restaurants like in the comic? Like specialized in social entrepreneurship?
Oh.
I was wondering that.
To be honest, the majority of social enterprise are called work integration social enterprise, WISE, work integration social enterprise. Work integration social enterprise means the social enterprise mainly their function is to create job for certain groups of people who are not able to secure a job in an open job market. For example, people who are migrants, new migrants to a particular city or country, or people who are displaced by wars, like refugees and things like that. homeless people, ex-criminals, ex-drug addict, young mothers who are maybe not very well educated, or young people from rural area who are not well skilled. So social enterprise, so all kind of problem. So social enterprise has interest, and they want to create jobs for these people, because the job is actually help us keep ourselves on the feet, so we can do other things. So the job is very important, and it's not just creating job, but also empowering them with new knowledge and social skills and new groups of friends. So yeah, we want to wanted to do a lot more on this part, and the creating jobs is a very key part. Did I answer your question, or do you have any specific part to that? Okay. Any question from the audience? We are waiting from the audience. Actually, all of your questions are very good, and I enjoy them. I want to hear more. Ah, over there. Excellent.
Thank you.
Any more? Raise your hand so we get prepared for the next microphone. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, do I have to introduce myself first?
Yes, quickly.
Okay, hi, my name is Dania Kisina Balkis. You can call me Dania. So I have one question. I've read through the comic, and I realized that the main character, you put them as like animal character. So I wanted to know.
Excellent question. So there are many excellent questions like this. Thank you. Why we use animal? Actually, we want to tell a universal story. So if you use animal, it can fit in any culture, in any races, and any. So it can go global in a sense. So if we put an Asian face in the cartoon, or we put a Caucasian face, there may be some additional interpretation when people read it. So we just use this cute, rabbit or whatever, so bear, so they're more like universal, so hopefully it can be well received and we can easily get the message across. So yeah, that's a quick answer to that. But also when we work with the artist, they're suggesting us to use this, because I think they're also very comfortable in drawing with this style, because each artist have their own style. So if they are more like on this particular style, and then you ask them, can we do it, this is kind of a Japanese style, they say, I'm not very good in that. So the output can be not very beautiful. So we also wish to hear, and that's what we did. We take the input from the artists that we were working with, and they like this style, so that's good. Yes, we had a selection. We had a call for applicants, and then many young art students applied, and then we interviewed them and we try to know who is the suitable ones. And then we recruited 3 of them. It's not easy, yeah. So we had to be selective, yeah. But to be honest, many of young people who join arts or design schools, somehow they're already very good in drawing. Maybe at a younger age, they're already good in drawing. So, but the only thing is, what makes who are a better artist than the others is maybe their imagination. So some people can imagine. With that imagination, they can draw it. So if you don't have that imagination, they are not able to visualize it into some forms. This is for visual arts, but performing arts is different, like dance and singing, there's another story. Yeah. Oh, any of you? You have any other additional questions? Yes, one question here.
Okay. Hello? Okay. Just like how you share with all of us, there are tons of problems, ton of money problems, or everything else. Also, there are ton of times that waste. Do you think about just click in your mind that you want to quit because of troublesome it is, because it doesn't bring anything to you?
Okay. Have I ever felt wanted to quit in this project, right? In this comic project? Definitely yes. When our artist went missing for a few months, we were very worried, and we thought that maybe we had to close this, or at least we survived with just 2 comics instead of 3. So yes, the thoughts of quitting always happen. In like in any kind of things that you are doing, like whether in your work, sometimes there are thoughts like, do you want to quit or not? So that is something that you should not take lightly, and you should think deeper. Like, is this important for you? Is it what you want to achieve more? But for us, we just want to go ahead, and for us, that we thought that when we produce the comics, it will create value well beyond the traditional means of transferring knowledge to other people. But to be honest, we didn't think today that I would be able to be here in Malaysia with you guys. I didn't even think about that. Do you know why? Because I finished this project. This project was pretty much dormant. So from 2016, we finished it in 2019 and got published the Chinese version. And in 2021 or 2022, we published the English version, this version in Amazon, right? So 2022 until now, 2020, so it's another 3 years, 2022, 2023. And nothing much happened. Until then, there was this impact case, right? And then my boss, the dean, and universities are now looking for impact cases. So our comic becomes one of the impact case. And the dean say, I have this funding, I will just give it to you, give it to me to do a impact case. And then with that money, I was able to travel to several countries to do to share the comic to the wider audience. So otherwise, I wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't meet here today. So thanks to some people who are visionary to see there's something here in this comic project, and it's unusual, and maybe it's creative, and it's entertaining, and it's liberating your thoughts about the possibility of what a comic can do. So I'm very grateful. I'm grateful that there is that funding that brings me here, and we can meet each other, we can exchange ideas, and sit together on the stage. Thank you. To be honest, my geography knowledge is not great. Initially, I thought I put Johor Bahru, and then the friend from UTHM say, "Oh, Batu Pahat is Johor, not Johor Bahru." So I have to revise it to just Johor. But I do know Johor exists and so close to Singapore. We should put Johor. Yes. Thank you. And also because we didn't tour the entire Malaysia. We toured the entire Malaysia, we put the whole Malaysia. But Johor perhaps is a better kind of, to be compatible with the other cities that we have been to or we will go, like Bologna in Italy. We also went to University of Strasbourg. So we also have people like you from University of Strasbourg in France. So Strasbourg is a city at the border between France and Germany, but they belong to France. And then we did this in Hong Kong with high schools. And also I will be in the University of Kyoto in Japan next month. So I will do similar like this, but not as many, because they are MBA and EMBA students. They are more mature people. They are people who hold a position in big companies. So there are about 20, 30 people, I think, who will join. And we're going to do a comic reading, and we're going to do a discussions too. But the thing is, we are kind of changing their curriculum. Because in the past, they never used comic. Because they see this, now they say, we want to use comic for our curriculum, for our MBA program. At least one of this section will use a comic and a discussion about comic. So that's why in June they know that I'm going to Korea for a conference. So they invited me to Kyoto to do this comic together with them. So that's fun. Yeah. Thank you.
Any more questions from the floor?
Yeah, there's somebody at the back there. I saw. Go ahead. What's your name and your major, and I can ask you a question.
So, hi, Prof. My name is Muhammad Hasif. Just call me Is. I'm currently studying in business transportation. So I actually have two questions. First, how social entrepreneurship group want to compete with capitalists or big corporation lobbyists in influencing the government policy. And the second one is, does social entrepreneurship is a long-term solution or just a temporary solution to fix this economic system?
This is the best question. The best question of the day. I think you are
That's
deep.
all.
You are deep thinker. Is fun? Is that your is? You have a deep thinker. You ask question about capitalism. You ask questions about how it could or not influence policy, and the second part of whether it's how sustainable it is, right, for the long term. Now, if you compare a social enterprise with a large corporations has a lot of resources, a lot more money. They can easily sway the government's policy easily, right, because they have a lot of money. But social enterprise, most of them are small and medium enterprises. Not even medium, most of them are very small enterprises. But why do you think social enterprises are small? Why can't they grow as big and as fast as those typical large corporations? I think the answer is depending on the logic, which is what we mentioned in the comic. If you are running a traditional corporation or business, you only focus on one thing, profit. So only the commercial outcome or commercial logic is the most important. So you are not constrained by anything else. So if you have done any simple math, you have to solve two equations together versus solving just one equation. Solving one equation is much faster, much easier. So in the social enterprise, they need to solve these two equations. How they operate as an enterprise, social enterprise, to achieve the social goal, but also achieve commercial goal, right? So balancing these two is often very challenging. So that's why you can see a lot of social enterprises don't make a lot of money. They don't have a lot of surplus at the end of the financial year. So how fast they can grow, how big can they grow, is tend to be limited. So somehow this also becomes a limitation on its own. But there are many big corporations that are willing to collaborate with social enterprises. And if you heard about CSR, corporate social responsibility, and many of these similar terms, a lot of the big corporations, they want to do something good for the society, community. Because number one, it shows that they care about the community. Number two, it's good for their stock price. Or number three, they have a good reputation in the community, right? So by working together and supporting, so big companies supporting social enterprise is good for them. So that's why for social enterprise, that collaboration is very, very important. So to what extent the social enterprise can influence policy? Can they influence it better than big corporations? That is another conversation. But we do know some social enterprises that have been operating long enough and have shown evidence that their work will benefit the society and solve many problems in new way, in creative way. The governments, the policymakers get interested about this and they want to know what is the new way to solve. So the way we call it, social enterprise is a policy experiment by the government without getting their foot in there. So the government just let the social enterprise do what they want to do in a creative way to solve housing problem, to solve poverty problem, to solve elderly problem, and they keep an eye on these social enterprises to see which of these social enterprises are doing a very good job. So, and once they know they're doing a very excellent job, this intervention that they did to solve this problem are working really effectively, and the government will say, we're going to support you, we're going to work with you. Or even they say, let us have your blueprint, allow us to use it or adapt it for our policy. So this is what has already happened in multiple countries. So so that's the question about policy making. But I do know that they can work together. So social enterprise and big government can work together and they can shape for a better policy. The second part is how sustainable can they be? You're right. It depends on how they can balance between the social and the commercial part in the social enterprise. And if they are very, very well managed, they can sustain more. Some of the problems that we saw why some social enterprises fail is they focus too much more on the social side. So they don't control their finances, they don't think much about their marketing, they don't do well in how they manage the human resources. So that's why they lose money. At the end, they have to close the shop. So if a social enterprise close their shop, that means they are not able to benefit more people. But if the social enterprise can be profitable and sustainable financially, they can open the next second shop, the third shop, the 100th shop, the 200th shop. Think of it, every shop they open, they employ how many people? So the more sustainable they are, the more impact that they can create. So the sustainability is really, really important question. Yeah, and many people just set the social enterprise and they close it down after a few years because they couldn't sustain, or they lost the passion, or they couldn't deal with the difficulties. So in order to sustain the social enterprise, there are many things that need to be there, need to tick the box. Just like an engineer, you need to make sure that every component in the electronics need to work so that that engine can run. So that's kind of the analogy in the machine. So social enterprise is also like a machine. You need to ensure that every part, every aspect is working together synchronously. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Very good question. Yes, your name, your major.
Okay. Hello, my name is Abdul Kawim. You may call me Abdul or Kawim, whichever word. I am in Faculty of Business Management, and I would like to inquire you about a more deeper issue. Based on the comic, there's a plot where it involves the internet and the netizen hating on the restaurant. So I want to ask that if the social entrepreneurship sorry. Let me retract what I said. Do you think that the issue that the social entrepreneurship are supposed to solve or tackle born from external or internal factors? For example, for the external, I would say the community, the culture, the economy, and for internal, such as psychological, so how a person think.
Very good question. You're asking external and internal challenges for social enterprises, right? One of the biggest external challenges is actually public understanding. So a lot of people out there still don't understand what is social enterprise. They think social enterprise as a charity or an NGO or non-profit. You know, what is a non-profit? How is that different from social enterprise? That is what we discuss in the book. An NGO or non-profit typically will need to ask for government funding or to beg for donation from some sponsor, right? Social enterprise don't do that. Social enterprise say, we want to generate that income or money, but we don't beg for donation, we don't ask for funding. They can later, but the idea is they want to sell some products and services. So they want to operate just like any normal business. So through the business, then they have the surplus, financial surplus, then they can do things to achieve the social goals. So that's the part about what makes the social enterprise is different in terms of this the funding or financing issues. Yeah. So, but if you ask about the other external challenges, so the public don't understand this. So social enterprise need to do a good way to tell a story so that the public understand what they do as a social enterprise. For example, in the story of the comic, people are suspicious. Wow, these are groups of former drug addicts selling spaghetti. This is what happened in Singapore. Like the drug addict guy set up a social enterprise in the form of restaurants. People could say, drug addicts together in one restaurant selling spaghetti? What do they put? Why do they have a long queue? Actually, they have a very long queue. The Japanese restaurants next door, Chinese restaurants is not so popular, but they have a very amazing menu. And one of the menu is they call it very funny. The name is very funny, called Heart Attack Fried Rice. And I asked them, what do you mean? Why do you call it Heart Attack Fried Rice? So it's a fried rice served in wood, like a pizza, like Italian pizza with the wood on the bottom, and they have slices of beef. And I said, why do you call it Heart Attack Fried Rice? They say, because the name is very intriguing. For the young people, when you say, when you eat this, you can have a heart attack, they will come and try. So even the choice of naming, the branding, the naming of that product is really important. They want to attract people. So they're very successful. So the public understanding, but that's what the public don't understand. So they need to find a way to tell a good story, a clear story, so the public can understand what is social enterprise, what they are there for. And actually a lot of people who come to eat in that restaurants that I just mentioned here, they're there not only because of the mission of the social enterprise, but also because they have a good food. They have an interesting story, and people like it. So you get both, right? But not everyone can do this, right? So that also related to the internal challenges that you mentioned. So the social enterprise, in order to be successful, they need to know how to manage the internal processes, including the production process, if you are producing something, including the marketing part, the human resources. Like a lot of people in the F&B industry have a high turnover. People work for 6 months, 3 months, they left, right? But how do you retain the good people to stay long as possible? So this social enterprise that I mentioned just now, they create a very clear career progression in their social enterprise. And then they open up until 10 branches in Singapore. And then and later they were bought by a bigger group and the person retired. But the idea is why they were able to open so many branches selling the same, they are kind of using a franchising model. It's because they're able to have a very good product and they create a very good employment ladder for the people who join their social enterprise. So this is professionalizing how you operate, because many social enterprises are not very professional. They're kind of very informal, like selling potato chips, but they're kind of like home industry. So if you're not very professional, it's very hard for you to attract highly qualified people to join you. Because if you can attract highly qualified people like you, then the social enterprise can gain something, have a new idea, have a new solution, and they can improve year by year. So there are things that they need to manage well internally, and also the things that they need to deal with externally, like public understanding. Like if there are some suspicion from the public about what you do, what you are as a social enterprise, then they need to tell a better story so the public understands what is social enterprise. So yeah, doing something relatively new, because social enterprise is relatively new in, I could say, in Asia, but they have a much longer history as a field, as an industry, and as a field of study in North America and Europe. But that is what people say. But I challenge that view. For example, I would say, what makes Asia and many other parts of the world that are non-Western, why don't we have social enterprise early on? It's because we have a different structure. We have a familial support system. Like instead of like a disabled person that needs a social enterprise to hire them, that's how the Western model works, right? In Asia, we family, kinship, we help each other. An uncle give money to the niece or nephew to study in the university. Brother helps younger sister, elder sister help younger brother. Things like that. This is very common in our culture, right? That's why this is a form of called social investment, which is very similar to social enterprise. It's just that we don't sell things, but we use investment to invest in somebody. So if your uncle give you money as a scholarship for you to study in the university, that's a social investment that will have a long-term outcome, not only for you, but for many people involved in the society. So that's how different countries have different structure, have different tradition. Like when I went to have this study with Venezuela, there's a lot of farmers. And then this person, he set up a bank, a village bank, some kind of a Grameen bank, if you heard of a Grameen bank, which is popularized by Muhammad Yunus, who got the Nobel Peace Prize in 2016 for his work that give a small loan to low-income people without any collateral. So in Venezuela, they said, we are very different from like the Western society. Like in our society, we help each other as a neighbors. We help each other. My neighbor have a financial difficulty, we help them. So then through that idea, he came up with a model called everyone can be a banker. So how it works is they group 10 people together, and everyone will put some amount of money, right? And then this group of people will be the banker. They will decide how much interest rate if someone take a loan from this pool of money. So if we are 10 of us make a bank, we agree on what our bank is, and if we decide the interest rate is 0, then if any of you, your house is broken, or you need to send a kid to study, you need a bigger amount of money, you can borrow from this pool of money that we have put together. And if we agree that the interest rate is 0, then 0. You can borrow for 0 interest rate. And then if you are done, you pay back. If someone else have problem, they can borrow from this money. So this model is used in Venezuela. And they are based on the local tradition, local wisdom, local culture. And it works for them. And I think this also have, I think in Indonesia they have called, no, there's a name called arisan or something. I don't know. Main putu, yeah. Main kutu. So I think a lot of women, right? Yeah, the housewife, they put the money and things. So maybe the amount was too small that it's not so, but imagine that the amount is relatively big. It can help someone to marry their kid, then they need that money. They can use that money. Or to send a kid to university, or to fix the house, renovate the house. So you need a bigger amount of money. But if you go to the bank and ask for a loan, you may be paying 5, 10, 15% interest rate. But if you have this model, this is an alternate model as part of the social enterprise or social investment model. So you can decide what is the interest rate. So it will benefit everyone. But of course, if somebody betray the group, there will be a kind of a social punishment. Like your neighbor will not trust you anymore because you have taken away the money, the loan, and you never pay back. So there will be a social kind of a control that because they live nearby, they are neighbors or live in the same community or village. So there are many things. So actually social enterprise, if you want to call it, the notion is actually Western concept, but in Asia, in other parts of non-Western culture, they have their own form of social enterprise. So I would say don't be discouraged by the label, but do what we think is good. And if we have a good tradition, a good local wisdom, let's nurture it. Let's take it further. Maybe it could be scaled up to solve many problems. Yeah, there's a question there. The man who is touching his hair. No? Okay. Okay, there's one more here. Are you guys enjoying? Okay.
Hello, Professor. How can we tell if a social enterprise is really helping people and not just looking good on paper?
Actually, there are many variations of that question. There are some people who have a dubious motive and set up a shop or company and they call it social enterprise. But their intention is actually to make a lot of profit. So they only use the name social enterprise. So this has happened in the past. So this is called the fake social enterprise. So this can happen, right? Some of them, in order to persuade the public to know that they are real social enterprise, they go for a certification or go for endorsement. In Malaysia, I learned that there is a government regulations for you to call yourself a social enterprise. You have to use your profit by how much, you need to give how much to your community, you need to declare, and you need to be open and transparent to submit your accounts, your books, like how much is your expenses, how much that you sell and generate income, how much you retain. So you need to be very transparent. And in many countries around the world, they have this model. In the UK, they've got CIC, Community Interest Company. It's a legal status. So if somebody wants to launch a social enterprise, they can register under this legal status. And there's a certain criteria. For example, they say the owner of the social enterprise can only take up to 30 to 35% of the profit for their own pocket. The rest have to keep inside the social enterprise. So in different countries have different laws or legislation or even certification to know which one is real, which one is not real social enterprise. So I hope that answers your question.
Is there any more question from the floor? Very good questions.
Very good question. I totally enjoy it. Yes. I don't have anything else. Is that the end? If there's nothing else? Yep. If there's nothing else, I just want to say a few words. I'm very thankful to be here and being invited. Yeah. Oh, do you have another closing? We can do another closing. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I think pretty much we are done. I think we have taken a lot of photos and videos and good chat. And thank you everyone for being with us today here. Thank you. Can we take photos together? You put up your comic. We take photos as a group together. Yes. There's a prize from the university for those who ask questions. Okay. they didn't have enough time to buy the actual comic.
You guys nanti dulu. You guys nanti honored to be here. So, alright. Okay. Masuk sana dulu ah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright.
So do I give it to the
Yeah, come forward. Yang lain, wah masuk je dalam tu. Ah, okay. Come down. Okay. Right, next. Come, thank you. Right, next.
good question? Thank you.
Alright, next. Okay, from here. Gentlemen. Everyone more?
It's okay. Hey! You will take your photo? Okay.
Okay, thank you. Untung duduk depan. Okay.
Do you need another more?
No, because some of
We're
them.
running out. Okay.
Okay. Oh, tunggu sekejap
Okay.
lagi
Okay. You ask a special question, then I'll give you more. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, you want to say something before we end?
Yeah. I just want to thank you all for participating, and I hope it's an enlightening and enjoyable session for you. And wish us luck so we can continue to do this work. And I'm very happy to see you all, and good luck with your studies and your future journey in life. Thank you.